Cześć, witam serdecznie, tutaj Dalia Rozgold 22 i witam w tej oto nowej serii. Będzie ona naprzemienna z programu Live Green, a będzie to Our Life Beginnings and Always. Taka dość przyjemna gierka, myślę, tak się zapowiada, powiem szczerze, nie wiem o niej zbyt dużo, także mam nadzieję się dowiedzieć po drodze. Nie wiem, parę różnych rzeczy, ale to może nie będę jej to zapowiadać zbytnio, tylko po prostu zobaczmy, z czym mamy do czynienia, bo wygląda ślicznie i mam nadzieję, że będzie śliczną opowieścią, którą się wciągnę. Także zobaczmy, o co chodzi. W ogóle też już ktoś podejść do nagrania tego, tylko po prostu zauważyłem, że ja nie jestem w stanie na szybko tłumaczyć tych tekstów, więc ja po prostu będę albo to po angielsku sobie czytać sam, albo coś ewentualnie tak napomknę, czy coś o co chodzi. Ale no po prostu zobaczmy, jak to pójdzie. Dobra, teraz musimy tu stworzyć swoją postać. Tu tworzyłem ją wcześniej, więc już wiem mniej więcej co chcę. Dobra. Kolor oczu. Fajnie. Gold. Dalia. Rose. I to nic. Co tu jeszcze? Don't. Okay, to lecimy. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of year. Your usually sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination, with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather and the relaxation that came with bath. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of schoolless vacation with it. During the summer, your moms didn't like you to wander too far outside of your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. No, czyli póki co na razie nam tu zapowiadają tak wprowadzenie takie. That included the people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly resident waved or asked how your family was, or most often just said hello. No i pierwszy wybór mamy. Ja już tu wcześniej do tego momentu wcześniej dotarłem, także tu wybieramy, że skończyłem mówiąc cześć do wielu różnych ludzi, odkąd większość turystów byli ci sami, czy coś takiego. Dobra, bierzemy to. You enjoy learning all about where they were visiting from and hope to visit those places one day too. But today there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. Ktoś siedzi przed naszym domkiem. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. No, zapowiada się tutaj interesująco. Będziemy mieli kogoś, który siedzi przed naszym domem i chyba czeka na nas albo coś. Whoever or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Beard was that people who you didn't recognize really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms called it. So, for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. O, no, dużo red flagów. Zobaczymy, ja już chcę wiedzieć, kto to jest. Your moms had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. Teraz tak. You hadn't exactly been listening at the time. You think it could be okay to talk to new people. They mentioned that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even if you don't know them. Albo you remember that it's okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about being polite. Ja myślę, że że chcemy poznać nowego kogoś. Więc pogadamy. I teraz tak. Wciąż czujesz się trochę przestraszony, wiedząc, że blokuje wejście do twoich frontowych drzwi. Albo you were pretty interested. Będę zainteresowany. Chciałem wiedzieć więcej, o co chodzi. No i co? Dobra, ja może będę zainteresowany, o co chodzi. O. You slowed down, your eyes remaining fixed on the man. I facet jakiś. There was a split second where your eyes met and you knew he was aware he wasn't alone on the street anymore. Hey, coś nazwała. You raised your eyebrows at the shout. Did he want something? Is that why he was here? Może coś chce od nas? No właśnie, teraz się zastanawiam, o co mu może chodzić. The man stood up and started to make his way toward you. Ty zacząłeś moją stronę. Not wanting to seem too approachable, you folded your arms and started, still unsure about him, but willing to be friendly, you offered the stranger a smile. I zamarzła. Nie. Damy mu uśmiech. The man gives a grin of his own back. Do you live around here? What's your name? O, po prostu chciał zagadać. Czy żyjemy tutaj i czy to... jakie jest nasze imię? You look the man up and down, taking in his tanned skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed, the way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a string grey tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. Okej, czyli odpowiadamy mu. Tak, żyję tutaj. Moje imię to Talia. Nie, że nic nie mówimy, to nie. Dobra, żyję tutaj, moje imię to Dalia, niech będzie. Świetnie. Miło mi cię poznać, Dalia. About smile. Relief setting on his face. Co to? He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand and he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you look back at him. Mogę mu sprawić przysługę. Nic złego. Przepraszam. Nic złego, przepraszam. I should have let me start. Aha, dobra, no zaraz nam powie, o co chodzi. Ja się tylko napiję, momencik. Gadaj już nam, o co chodzi, bo jestem zniecierpliwiony. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepier. I have a son, his name is Cove. Who's about your age? Cove? That seemed like a strange name for an actual living person to you. You chewed on the inside of your cheek. This guy was definitely obsessed with water. You thought that was pretty cool. Co tu wybrać? Covestead. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured toward the house that he had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The giant thing for sale sign was finally gone. You must be Dahlia Rosegold, right? I met your mom's earlier, and they told me you were 8 just like him. So, he shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile titling his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance, and you can keep this. He's a good kid, you'll like him.
Do you mind?
But you've gotta keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. To jest dziwne, że on chce mi zapłacić za przyjaźń, to dziwne takie. Bardzo dziwna sytuacja. And your mom's done that for you and Lizzie? Tough made you from. What do you say? Want to make a deal? You didn't want the money? You took the... Nie chcę pieniędzy, po co mi to? I don't wanna be paid for that, it's too weird. He deflated enough to notice, but not completely. Are you sure? It won't be so bad, even if just for the summer, that'd be enough. It's only made this sound more strange to you. Why does it lasting for the summer matter? Jeszcze się napiję, moment. Problemy z tym gardłem, masakra. Okay. When it was clear his initial strategy wasn't going to fly, tucked the bill into a back pocket and changed the request. Powiem szczerze, mam nadzieję, że nie znalazłem was w tym moim czytaniu i tak dalej, ale jak sobie tak czytam, to lepiej trochę rozumiem to. Nie umiem tego przetłumaczyć całkiem, ale zrozumieć potrafię lepiej. I get it. You don't have to. Would you be comfortable with he and I coming by for a normal visit? No money involved. Yes, I wanna meet him. Okay, you can do that, I guess. You'd have to ask my mom. You didn't ask for the man. His smile got bigger again. His eyes crinkled at the sides. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with the neighbors today, but well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come on home? He's got a pink cast and glasses, you can't miss it. Sure thing. Okej, czyli się zapowiada tak, że mamy nowego sąsiada, no i możemy się poznać, fajnie. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends, you knew that, but you were still going to help. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head, paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your moms are already checking around for me, such a thoughtful group you are. Now I better go look too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought he might come back and that's not what's important. I have to go. Thanks again, Dahlia, so much. He jogged off down the street without another word. No i sobie poszedł. You decided to check the hills behind your house. No czyli sprawdziłem za naszym domem gdzieś. Wzgórze. Step 1. First sight. Sorry, że tyle dzisiaj piję, ale gardło mi wysiądzie chyba. Dobra. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. W ogóle sorry, lepiej na pewno byłoby, gdybym ja to wszystko tłumaczył, ale ja jestem tak kiepski z tłumaczeń, że myślę, że to by było jeszcze bardziej kulawe. You've always loved the ocean. It was so much fun. You loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk And sea serpent, you imagine living beneath the waves? Ja myślę, że lubiłem morze zawsze. Sometimes Lizzie would join you, the two of you splashing each other in the waves. Those were the best days. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax and couldn't. Czekajcie chwilkę. Bo moje gardło już chyba umiera. Dobra. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. Okay. There was a boy, sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that, he wasn't paying attention. He hadn't noticed you yet. Ojej. Jeszcze chwilę i chyba kończę, bo te gardło to masakra. Dobra, idziemy dalej. Ale w ogóle zapiszmy sobie może save. To jest auto. Save'a tu na pierwszym. Okay. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you'd found a deer in the wild. Oh, deer didn't have green hair, wavy eyebrows, huge glasses, and cast. What's wrong? What's that from? Aż sprawdzę. Okej, czyli że smutne miny, tak? Tak mi podpowiada tłumacz Google'a, więc nie wiem czy ufać. But this new boy did. You wondered what could have upset him. After a few more seconds you took a step forward, then another, and then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Are you lost? A, to mi się kojarzy chyba z tym, z 365 dni. Ale dobra, nieważne, nie wiem czy mówić to Are you lost? Chociaż... dobra. With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling into fists at his side. He didn't say anything, he just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. Nie, biedny płacze. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaked the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight when he caught you. Staring at it, he did his arms behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cough? Ach. Ta reakcja. Eyes wide, he studied you. How did you know that? It's my lucky guess. No way, tell the truth. Okay, your dad told me who you were.
Oh.
So, is this your hill? Czy nasze wzgórze? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling on the prospect. I can live if it is. You can on a hill. You shook your head. And on a hill. No, że nie możemy posiadać. Dlaczego nie? Że ty możesz. You just do. I had a hill back home. Well, this still isn't mine. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way that dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool, and as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Almost like they never stopped, his tears started up again with a vengeance. Jak to czytać? My parents. They don't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave and he took me with him, and now we have a house here and I want to go home. Ogólnie też sam co się na razie dzieje, no to po prostu teraz znaleźliśmy na wzgórzu za naszym domem tego chłopczyka, tego Kowa. I on nam tu właśnie mówi, że jego rodzice nie chcieli już razem dużo mieszkać, jego ojciec wziął go ze sobą tutaj, teraz mieszkają, on chce bardzo do domu. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. No, mniejsza. Sniffled and removed his glasses, whipping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. I'm sorry, your dad seems kinda nice. To get used to crying. I'm sorry. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cough wound himself up again for another long przepraszam. For another long crying fit. You felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what if you feel like to live with only one of your moms, but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance you heard your parents. Dahlia! Cove! Kids, where did you go? Cove, look at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here.
I wanna go home.
I don't want to go back to that house, I wanna go home. It will be okay, sorry I have to worry so much. Don't worry so much. Sure, maybe it's weird and you're not gonna like it, but your dad's there too. Kurde. Gardło mnie wykończył. Right? Yeah. So you're not really all by yourself. Even if it feels like it, you just gotta tell him how you feel. You shoot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. He can't do anything if you don't make him hear you, right? Przepraszam. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice. Silent, they turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. Called off yourself, you waited. Yeah, I get it. You do? Before you could answer, you heard Cove's dad even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill, Instantly all their eyes landed on you and they rushed over. Both of your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Dahlia, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might go further away. Ross, why is everything in this decision? Thank God, you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You looked over at Cole, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. Right, yes, I like him. O, to takie słodkie, ale nie wiem, czy to mówić w ogóle, bo to takie dziwne. A dobra, co mi tam? You nodded, smiling slightly. Oh, that's wonderful. Finally letting go of his screaming, groaning son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you. Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Dahlia knows this whole area so well. Absolutely, we should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove. Bye. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading toward the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper playdate tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound?
Of course.
Okay. Both of your moms loved the sound of her laughing into a one familiar chorus. Mommy put her arm around your shoulder and led you toward to the path. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed, after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Here's your feeling for Cove. Matka, jakieś takie skomplikowane. This is how you feel towards Cove for this step. It can change in later steps. Okay. Comfort. Nervous. Crush. Dobra, ja sam muszę to potłumaczyć, żebym nie zrobił gafy. Direct. Bezpośrednio. Relax, no to wiadomo, nervous też wiadomo. Rush. Aha, to chyba o to chodzi, to ja wiem. Indifferent. To ja myślę, że crush. Dobra, crashujmy to. Relaxed. Relaxed. Okej. Ja myślę, że na tym etapie, po tamtych scenkach, sobie zakończymy. Także dziękuję serdecznie, że byliście tutaj ze mną. Zapiszmy sobie od razu save'ik. Zrobimy sobie tutaj. Save'ik jest. Dziękuję bardzo, że ze mną byliście, że jakoś przebrnęliście przez te moje tutaj gadanie. I co, mam nadzieję, że zobaczymy się w kolejnych odcinkach, no i że będziemy się dobrze bawić, bo ja na razie bawię się świetnie. Także do usłyszenia, cześć, na razie. Hej.